Hello and welcome back. My name is Jeremy, and by popular demand, and what I mean by popular demand is people keep emailing me questions about HTML. I figured I'm just going to do some videos on it. I know some of yours that have been watching my videos are probably saying, "Hey, wait a minute! Did you just say you weren't going to cover any basic HTML stuff?" So, well, I guess I kind of lied a little bit. No, I keep getting the same questions, and feel like I keep answering the same stuff. So why not just go ahead and just make some videos? Pretty simple. I can do that. Not a problem. So if we're going to do it, I'm going to do it the way I was kind of taught. And first, you got to understand some terms. I'm sure a lot of these terms you people already know what they are. So I'm going to keep this video hopefully short and quick, straight to the point. If you need some answers, questions answered, whatever. One of those two, you know what to do. Just write me an email. I'll be happy enough to answer the ones I can. So that being said, let's see. Let's start with first term. Yeah, why not? First term is internet. So what is the internet? The internet is a worldwide network of connected computers. This was basically established to, try to share ideas and resources and whatnot. Kind of began in like the late 1960s with a research network called the ARPANET. Some of you might have heard, some of you might not have. If you haven't, would suggest you go look that up and read about it. It's pretty interesting. Next, we have the World Wide Web, which I'm sure you guys know what that is because you found me. Anyways, it's a system of let's see. It's a system that is used on the internet for transmitting or retrieving information in an easy to use manner. And then from this, we got stuff like FTP, which we'll talk about later on the list, video streaming, email. Now, this was introduced back in the early 90s. Next, we have protocol. And a protocol is basically just a bunch of rules that says this is how you're going to do this. So, the way you can look at protocol is math, one example. English, they all have rules. Okay, next we have IP. IP is an internet protocol. So, like I said before, these are rules. So, this protocol specifies how information is going to be transferred over the internet. Next, we have an IP address. An IP address is a unique set of numbers that is assigned to every machine on the internet. So, some of you might not know, but IP address could be like 134.56.123, whatever. That'd be an IP address. And that doesn't look too hard to remember, but what if you have 5 or 6 you have to remember? Believe it or not, this is kind of how some of it was actually done. You would have like your unique email address would be like j75432 at that IP address. So to help this out, what happened was the domain names came out. And what this was it assigned, it actually gave names to devices on the internet just to make it easier. So an example would be google.com. .com. So what is a domain server? Domain name server is a device that translates the domain name back into the IP address, so all the information that's going through the internet can be routed the right way. A URL is a uniformed resource locator. That's what URL. That's what it stands for. It's a unique name that every document or data element on the URL gets. And so it would be like part of this slash something, and so on and so forth. Okay, so parts of a URL. So this might make a little more sense, I guess. This first part right here, this HTTP : / that would be the protocol. This is what would be used for making the to start out the request. So we're going to request this domain name of www.jeremy.com. Then we're going to go to this next section right here. This toots would be like a path name, or could also be looked at as like a directory that sits on the server. And finally, we hit the actual page that we want. This is also called the file name. Alright, so next we have HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Again, another one of those protocols. But this says how the transmission of hypertext pages over the internet is going to work. Next we have hypertext. Hypertext is linked text that's on the page itself, like links that you see, pictures sometimes are clickable, so on and so forth. Next one is FTP, is a file transfer protocol. You can see there's quite a bit of protocols for the internet. This just says this is how files are going to be transmitted and or received over the network itself. So server. So what's a server? Well, a server has a primary role of providing information to other machines. So it's just this other computer kind of sitting out there. You can have a server in your house. No, it just kind of sits there, and its main job is just to provide information back out. So how that works is it sits there and it waits for a request from you. Then once it gets that request, it finds that information that you're looking for and then shoots it back to you, so you have it. That being said, you have the client. This is you, the client, or your computer is the one that's making the request to the server itself. And to do that, we would use a browser, or there's other means as well, but we'll just use a browser. So your browser runs on the client, and it can request pages, like I said. What it'll do, it'll process the HTML so the page looks, pretty and nice and stuff like that. It can also run scripts, JavaScript, for example. Some examples of browsers, which of course I'm sure you're probably familiar with a lot of them, but Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari, and more. Last, we have HTML. So HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. It's just like easier to say HTML. It's a method of marking up text or your content by using tags. And you're probably saying, well, what's a tag? Well, in the next video, we'll get into what tags are. Okay, that being said, these are just some basic terms. These are terms you can look up on your own if you want more research on any of them. But I do recommend you read it's just some articles about the ARPANET. It was actually pretty neat. Well, that's it. I got it really quick in. Hope you guys have a great day. Comment, subscribe, like the video, tweet the video, help me out. Alright, you guys have a great day. Appreciate it. See ya.